I woke up this morning with a sore throat. My son decided to share whatever he's got with me at the moment. So the interesting thing about this for you, you'll be able to watch someone who's having breathing difficulties at the moment speak. I sat here for about 5 minutes doing my own breathing exercises before you came in. So what I want to start with is letting you know that just because you learn breathing exercises doesn't mean you become superhuman. It helps most people most of the time. So I just want to get the elephant out of the room straight away. This is not a cure. This is something that's really helpful. How did I come to this? When I was 3, 4, 5, I had severe asthma, hospitalised, close to not getting through it a couple of times. No one ever talked about the importance of learning how to breathe, which looking back is kind of fascinating to me and also a little bit disturbing because I had a breathing dysfunction and no one talked about breathing. I was told don't exercise, don't eat dairy, and take your asthma medication whenever you feel like you're out of puff. And then I worked out. Other kids get puffed out when they run around like a crazy person on scooters and skateboards. So I actually taught myself how to breathe, and then I discovered this thing later on, which gave me some scientific context and a bit of a framework for me, because I was scratching my own itch first, and then to help you and whomever else is interested. I'm going to introduce, the way I teach the Buteyko method, there's theory, which gets a little bit boring, but I'm just going to let you know what that is so you understand where it comes from and why it works and how it works. I teach 6 exercises, that's it. The whole method, 6 exercises for pure Buteyko breathing. And then I add stuff to it that I've learned from martial arts, from sports. I'm a former fitness trainer, traditional Chinese medicine. Start really simply with paying attention to the breath, which I've got you already. You're already paying attention to the breath because you've kind of come in hypnotized because you're going to a breathwork thing, which is great. My job here is done. Everyone relax. Awesomely, you've all got your mouth shut, except you will just, oh, perfect. So now it's perfect. So first thing, if you remember nothing else, if you can close your mouth and breathe through your nose most of the time, you get like 90% of functional breathing sorted out. So what's really interesting about the nose, the less you use it, the less useful it becomes. People who've had tracheotomies for whatever reason, like surgical interventions, and literally never breathe through the nose again, the whole nasal cavity just closes up. And to a certain extent, anyone who breathes through the mouth a lot, and with kids, it's like 50 to 60% of kids breathe through the mouth. And it becomes a habit that you take into adulthood. Adulthood's 20 to 25%. And if you're like me and you're a little bit voyeuristic and weird, you start looking at people down the street and you can see who's breathing funny. You can see it in the colour of their skin, their posture, and it starts to affect everything. My approach to health and wellness and fitness and performance across the board is you get breathing sorted out first, then you work out sleep. And the rest is next. Diet's less important, drinking is less important. Radiation is less important. It's all important, but if you're not breathing properly, you're in trouble. You think about the one thing that keeps you connected to being alive is breathing. It's what kicks you off and it's what stops at the end. So it's like, okay, well, we can pay attention to this thing. Why don't we pay attention to it? Because we do it automatically. So everyone here, you can not think about your breathing right now and your body will breathe for you. But based on the habits and what you've done previously and how your body works and all of your structures and things like that, you'll breathe in a different way. None of you are breathing the same right now. And that's okay. But can you breathe a little bit better? So maybe you don't get as sick, maybe your asthma goes away. So sometimes what you learn means you don't get any worse. Sometimes it means you recover. And it's kind of like playing sport or anything else. The more you practice it, the better you get at it, the less you have to think at it. And it's generally better for you. So number 1, breathe through your nose. Now, what I said before is when you don't breathe through your nose closes up. But when you start breathing through your nose more, your nose opens up. And it's really interesting when you start playing around with what you can do with your nose to make it open up. What I'm about to say is counterintuitive and sounds like it's the opposite of what I just said. But when you block your nose with your finger, so say my right nostril's blocked up and I walk around and I block my right nostril and I go for a walk for 5 minutes, it'll open up. I still can't work out why that happens. No one's been able to adequately explain why my blocked nostril that I block further and then I walk opens up when I go for a walk. My teacher's done a lot of this work with ENTs, like ear, nose and throat specialists, and they don't know what's going on. And I could talk into theory, but people get upset about, is that the right way? Some science says yes, some science says no. Konstantin Buteyko, who it's named after, was a Ukrainian doctor, medical doctor, not sort of allied health, like right in the middle of it, in hospitals with severe cases of whatever was going around. It was like emergency ward. And he noticed everyone was over-breathing. When I say over-breathing, you might think hyperventilation. It just means breathing in excess of what you need to do. If you need an example of it, think of someone who's panicked. That fast breathing, fast, shallow breathing. And what his summation was most of, if not all of the people that were ill were breathing badly. So he started to experiment. And the theory, this is the 50s. The theory at the time was it was because of people's intolerance of carbon dioxide building up in the body. And this is what the medical fraternity pushed back against with Buteyko, because it's not just that. That's a part of the pie. But because the medical fraternity can point to that and say that's not what it is, they try and discredit what's going on here. So what I'm going to challenge you all with is just notice if it makes you feel better. Does something shift? And if it shifts enough, maybe it's something for you to investigate more. If it doesn't work, then we probably need to have a chat and see if it needs to be tweaked for you. Because sometimes it's just dosage, it's the way you practice. The reason I train this one-on-one and in groups in 4 and 5 sessions over a month or so is so everyone gets a chance to practice. Because it's not like you learn it and you're great at it. I don't know anything that's important that you can learn and just be awesome at straight away. Does anyone try and play guitar and get it right first time?